interesting little abstract today with a little bit of stitching on. And the colours that I'm going to be using are Old Mauve, Mars Yellow, Potter's Pink and Beige Grey. They're out of the Kuretake Art Nouveau range. If you haven't got these, don't worry, pick your favourite colours. And I'm also going to be using some acrylic paint in gold and purple out of a squeegee bottle, but you might want to use a brush, and some metallic paints on this watercolour paper. Because we're going to stitch on it, it needs to be quite good quality. So I've got 300 grams here, and I've got some thread for stitching, some needles here, and also some braddles. So I've grabbed the Potter's Pink and I've got a ducktail brush here, and I am just liberally putting the paint on and then adding the Mars Yellow, and again just liberally putting that paint on, and then moving on to the Beige Grey. And then I've let that paint dry, and I've got the Old Mauve, and using the shape of the ducktail brush I've made some patterns on that page. So when I've looked at my page, I've thought I wanted a little bit more zing to it. So I've had a look at my Malang watercolour paints, and I've picked out this vibrant pink. And then I wanted to add a little bit of glitz. So I've got some gold watercolour paint. So I'm just making marks with that, and then following the lines that I've already put down with the pink watercolour paint. So just highlighting that a little bit. I've got these oil pastels in these beautiful vibrant colours, and I thought it'd be a bit of fun just adding some little marks on there. So just putting those on. You could use crayons if you haven't got oil pastels. So don't worry, use what you have. And then I've got some acrylic purple paint, Daler Rowney purple paint that I've got in these lovely squeegee bottles, and just squeegeeing that on into the negative spaces. If you haven't got the squeegee bottles, you could get a fine paintbrush and put that on with that brush. So when all the negative spaces are filled in, I've grabbed some gold acrylic paint in another squeegee bottle, and I'm just making these ovally kind of shapes on the page wherever I feel, not worrying too much about it. I've sort of put it there onto the side, both of these, so they're sort of like semicircles in semicircles. And then I'm just going to put some marks on to some other parts of the page, just because I've got that little tube, and I just thought, well, let's just add some more marks onto the page. It's really fun adding these little dots with the acrylic paint. For a little while they're still wet, they have like a raised profile, and that looks really, really nice. I wish the raised profile would stay, because I think that would just add so much to your painting. But unfortunately, when it dries, it does go flat onto your page. So once I've finished doing that, I've got a couple of braddles that I've purchased, and I'm going to use these to make some holes into the page. I've got some lovely purple cotton here, and I'm going to add some holes into my watercolour painting by using this braddle. I've got a foam board which I'm pressing this into. You could use maybe some cardboard underneath or something similar, because it will go through your painting, and obviously you don't want it to mark your table or whatever you're pressing down on. So you can see the holes here. And then I'm just going to peel away the tape, because I need to get to the back of the picture in order to do the sewing. So I've put a knot into the thread, and I'm just going to push it through the holes. And I haven't really got a plan. I'm just going to see what happens, see where this leads, and I'm just going to push through and see the lines and work it out from there. My needle is slightly bigger than the holes that I've put in, so I am having to push that needle through, but I'm trying to be careful because I don't want to rip the paper and pull that thread completely through the page. So just coming up through the holes and making lines across, and you sometimes need to go through, back up through the same hole to make another line to come over, because I'm going to make these kind of diamond shapes, and they're going to be all sort of chained together through the page. I've made a small selection of holes here, and I'm going to complete that, see how that looks, and then if I need to add some more holes, I will. I didn't know whether to go for a pink or a purple. I think I've made the right choice with the purple because there is quite a lot of pink there, and I did only make a couple of marks with the purple, so I thought the purple would be the best colour to go with. But you could choose any colour you want. It could be just an experiment, see where it leads you. You just never know, do you? Sometimes things don't turn out very well and you think, oh, I'm a bit disappointed with that. But then other times you try things and you think, oh, actually, I really enjoyed doing that and it really looks good. So just go with whatever pops into your mind, choose those colours, and just see what happens. Just see it as an experiment, and it might work out, it might not, but at least you've had some fun trying. If you don't fancy doing the physical sewing, I have got a video on how to draw sort of like little stitches onto your painting, and I'll put that as a link at the end of this video so you can have a look at that if that's something that you fancy doing. I have videos coming out regularly, so maybe you would like to switch on notifications, maybe you would like to subscribe, and then you won't miss out on anything new that comes out. If you like this, maybe you'll consider liking, or maybe you'll leave me a comment. Let me know how you get on, whether you try this. Is it any good for you, or do you think, no, this isn't something you'd like to do? What kind of things do you like to do? What's your arty journey been like? I always love hearing people's stories and what they're up to, or whether they try any of these videos, what colours you use, what brought you to art. Did you find it later in life, or was it something that you've always done? I'd love to hear your story. I think sewing, a bit like painting, is very relaxing. You're very in the moment, concentrating on what you're doing and just feeling in the moment with your bit of art. So yeah, really enjoy doing this, and I hope you get some pleasure too out of doing it. So we're coming to the end now, and you can see the finished result, and I think it's turned out well. The diamonds are not quite straight, but that's okay. And I've really enjoyed it, and I hope you've enjoyed your time too. Well, thanks for watching, and hope to see you again soon. Okay then, see you soon. Bye.